Hello, this is Type V3, and today I'll be taking a look at the Transformers Generations Thundercracker. That's right, he's finally here. The last of the original three Seekers has finally been given a retail release, and with it, he has immediately devalued that BotCon and Henkei exclusive. Thundercracker himself is, of course, based off of the original classic Starscream mold, so if you're looking for any surprises or feature set, there's nothing new to be found here. He's still got the same nipple landing gear and the two launching missiles. Of course, what you gotta pay attention to, though, is his paint scheme, because never before has an American release of a Seeker been painted so well and so beautifully. The vibrant blue of the figure is so glossy that he appears to be wet almost all the time. Each wing has a distinctive stripe on it, and then it has a beautiful looking Decepticon symbol placed on top of them. The air ducts themselves have been given a beautiful looking silver paint that you would almost mistaken it for die cast. All this combined gives us probably what is the best Seeker of the Transformers Generations line. But this of course is only half the story, because Thundercracker is surprisingly even nicer in his robot mode. Seeing as how this is the millionth use of the mold, this transformation for Thundercracker shouldn't be very surprising at all. It's one of those figures that you wish Hasbro would redo and use new techniques upon, because he could have looked so much better. In the end, you get a very blue yet predictable looking Transformer. When in robot mode, one of the first things you'll notice about Thundercracker is just his overall design. Everything that I praise this guy for in his robot mode is just amplified now that he's fully transformed. It's mostly down to his chest. I mean, Hasbro really didn't skimp out on that beautiful metallic silver. I mean, it really does make you think that this guy could be die-cast. He's got this little Decepticon symbol there, and although it's tiny, I think it works well. Unfortunately, his head doesn't have any light piping, but I'm not really missing it on this guy. I like his red eyes. I think they look wonderful just as they are. He's got universal joints that any Seeker would have. They're okay. That's kind of why I think this figure kind of sucks, or this mold. I mean, as great as he looks, he can't really do much. But I will say, I think Hasbro did use a new casting mold, because everything on my guy is super tight. Everything aligns correctly. I mean, even here in his head, super tight, can't move it. If I use the nose cone, I'm afraid I might break this little joint there. So yeah, no signs of mold degradation. I mean, just to give an example, on my thrust figure, right here on this leg, because of the old casting they used, I can't get this knee to fully bend at the full 90. And his feet down here, this foot here doesn't want to go all the way down. It keeps coming back up. So just a little example of why I think this guy has been given a new casting. When it comes down to it, Thundercracker ends up being an interesting figure. From a pure visual and design standpoint, he's wonderful. He looks beautiful, and he represents Thundercracker very well. But as a toy, he really does suck. When this mold first came on the scene as Starscream, I thought it was cute. It had its problems, but it worked. But now, the 6th version down the line, I've just been sick of it. I don't know if it's because it's the 3rd Seeker to come out in the Generations line, but I definitely am tired of seeing this guy around. And yet, having said all of that, I'm really happy to finally have my own Thundercracker and not have to worry about paying ridiculous prices for those BotCon exclusives. So where does that leave us with the recommendation? Well, I know for a lot of people out there watching this review, regardless of what I've said, or what you guys think about the figure, I know you're going to go out there and buy him anyway, just because you want to be able to complete your collection of Seekers. And to tell you the truth, I'm all for that, and that's great. But if you are one of the few out there who haven't picked up or jumped onto the Seeker bandwagon yet, Thundercracker is definitely a great place to start. I mean, of the 3 available today, he is by far the best. However, if you want the definitive Seeker, or just one, get Starscream, because Starscream is by far and away the best of the bunch. On a lighter note, though, I will say, with the release of this figure, we can finally see Hasbro put this mold to rest. And then just maybe, they'll finally do an improved version, release it as Starscream, and then start the cycle all over again.